Hey folks, here we are. It is Monday, the 28th of December, and we are here to start and get ready and plan to start a new year. Friday is the first day, January 1st of 2021. It will be the beginning of something great. It will be the beginning of a new year. It will be the beginning of being able to erase 2020. But it is still the roaring 20s, lest we not forget. 100 years ago, what it was like with submachine guns and prohibition and alcohol and gangsters. And here we are today, 100 years later, and we have AR-15s, we have Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all this stuff going on across America, and the march to legalize marijuana. What a different world it is, but it isn't. As we start every day, our journey starts with prayers for everybody that has been touched and affected by this COVID-19 stuff that's going on and going around. So we need to make sure that our prayers, our heartfelt prayers, go out to everybody that is affected and impacted in some way by what is going on. We also want to offer our prayers for the loved ones that have been lost, and especially for the ones who have lost loved ones. May the Lord in heaven open his arms and take into his kingdom the lives that have been lost. God bless everyone. Hopefully you had a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It's coming this weekend, this Friday. And so this week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about financial mastery coaching. We're going to talk about the blueprint, and we're going to talk and continue our discussion of action. What do I have to do to get forward? Now, everybody, by the end of the week, not everybody, but I would believe that a lot of people are going to set resolutions. You know, what is my goal? What is my resolution for the new year? And we have to think about that. But first we have to think, okay? Think. We have to exercise our thinking muscle to think about what it is we really want. What do you want 2021 to represent for you? What do you want it to mean? Do you have business goals that you want to set for 2021? How about personal goals, family, financial? Financial goals are important. They're going to continue to be important because the government is continuing to spend money by the trillions outside of their ability to collect it. They're spending money they do not have in huge amounts, mega huge amounts. And someday in the future, you and I will pay the price for these politicians in Washington that have no conscience. They have no responsibility to us. It's like they do not work for us anymore. I don't want to get political. We're not going to go there today, and I'm going to stay away from politics. But we have to realize that it is up to us. We, the voters, we, the people, have to make a difference. And I don't care what country you're in, the same thing applies. It's really the people that make the difference. And it takes courage to do that. You have to find the courage inside of you to set goals, to not be afraid to dream about what the future could be like. Dreams are so important because without dreams and aspirations for the future, what is there? You know, what is your date? If you set a date to figure out your why, you were born, there's the date, you have a birthday. Every year you celebrate your birthday. but you haven't figured out the second date yet. The date, your reason why you were born. We all have unique ability. We all have those thoughts in our mind. We just don't do anything. We do not apply the discipline of creating actions and committing to those actions until they become a habit. And the actions that become habits determine our destiny. And habits could be thinking every day, exercising your thinking muscle. It is so important to do that. What are you reading? Have you found something to read? We have the whole world in front of us on this internet. You have access to all of the wisdom of the world and all of the wisdom of history in front of you. But you have to make a decision to do something. Just in the Financial Mastery Coaching Program that I've developed and the Financial Mastery Blueprint that is about ready to be released, and it's just a matter of some simple, provable rules to follow that will take you to the optimum position, that will take you to the best it can be. Because it has to be that way. Typical financial planning that has only existed since the 70s. Before that, it was what I call traditional planning. People saved money, they owned permanent whole life insurance and accumulated cash value. And they maybe had a mortgage and they were working to pay the mortgage off. They didn't have credit cards. They didn't have consumer loans. They didn't buy something unless they had the money to pay for it. We have to get back to that, folks. We have to get back to that because without that discipline, the future is not going to be fun for a lot of people. Because sooner or later, the black cloud of the debt that the government has created, the unfunded liabilities that are sitting on the books of the government for the promises that politicians have made in the past, because it's easy for them to make promises and commitments because they don't have to fulfill it. The next politician that comes along will have to do something about it. And you know what? They have been irresponsible because all they continue to do is kick the can down the road. You and I can't do that any longer. We cannot do that. We have to make a decision to do something, to make a difference. The ingredient is so important. It is the beginning of the example that we need to set for our children and our grandchildren, because they are relying on us to be the example, to set the pattern, set the stage, because the whole world is a stage and we are all actors thereon, as Shakespeare said. Because we are all influenced by the atmosphere around us. What is that atmosphere? It's how you think, it's what you experience, the people you meet, the places you go. All of that determines who you are today and in the future. It also lays the groundwork to determine who and what your children are going to become. See, it isn't what you do in life, it's the person you become. And it isn't the money you make, it's what you do with the money. No matter how little you make or how a lot you make, what is your end goal? What is your purpose? What are you trying to accomplish? So that when the end comes, and it will come for everybody, we all get to die at least once in a lifetime, and I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to be there when the time comes. That's simple. But what are you going to do? Are you ready to set some goals? Because this week, this is what we're going to talk about all week. We're going to talk about goals that actually come from dreams, things that we're dreaming about doing, things that we're dreaming about having, or places we're dreaming about going someday, whatever it is. None of that is going to happen. It is all just a big wish. I wish this and I wish that, unless you decide to create a plan on how to make it happen. And then you put in the action. And you put in the action consistently long enough until the action becomes a habit. And then that habit will start to drive your destiny. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Anyway, we talked about the blueprint. Remember the rules to save 20% of my income, my gross income, not the net I take home, 20% of the gross. So no matter what you do, you've got to make a decision that after January 1, you're going to take a 20% pay cut. A 20% pay cut, and then that 20% you're going to start paying yourself. You're going to start saving money. And once you start to do that, it will get easier and easier and easier to do it. All you got to think about is, what were you making 5 years ago compared to what do you make today? Or 10 years ago compared to what you make today? All you've done is you've allowed propensity to consume, which is Nelson's human behavior rules, propensity to consume, to take over. The more money I make, the more money I spend. The more money I save, the bigger the things I buy. That's the human nature, folks, that we have to overcome. Propensity to consume. A lot of people, I get a pay raise at work, I'm making more money, so I can buy bigger things. All those things that I've desired and wanted my whole life, I can now get them. And all you do is you stay broke at a new level. No matter what your income is, everybody is broke at a new level when that happens, for the most part. There's a few that get ahead, but it's in the single digit percentages, 1%, 2%, 3%. Figure this out and really figure out how to create security and wealth. That's what we're talking about. Talking about the game. It includes reading books, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends, Influence People, The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. Schwartz. We're going to talk about more and more books. So there'll be a new book that I'm going to talk about next week after January 1st. Well, every month there will be a new book that I'm going to talk about, and some of the nuances of the book and how it's changed my life. Right now on my nightstand in the bedroom where my chair is sitting, there's probably 8 books sitting there, and I read a minimum of 20, 30 minutes every night. Now I read more during the day, but I set a goal that I will read and consume something positive every night. And when I do it when the news is on. My wife's sitting there, she's usually crocheting or reading or doing something. And I'm sitting there, the news is on, and maybe I want to hear the weather for the week or what it's going to be. But all that other stuff, I don't hear it because I'm reading something good that will help me grow my thinking muscle. It will create more empathy in my body, in my heart, and my mind, so I become a different person. I have to feed that every day. I have a lot of stuff in my past that I have to bury. All those habits over a lifetime. You do not get rid of a habit. You can only overlay it with a new habit. Can't get rid of an old habit. So some of those bad things that we all have in our past, folks. We all have skeletons in the closet of some kind or another. So we all have habits in the past that did not help us to get ahead. And we need to overlay them. We need to bury those habits and start new habits that will take us where we want to go. That's simple. That's simple. How do I start? It just starts with one step. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. That's all, one step. What are you going to do? So we have to make a list. We have to write down some dreams that we have. I challenge you to write down a list of 100. Of all the things in your life you've ever wanted, the things you've ever wanted to do, the places you've ever wanted to go, write them down. It is amazing how the mind, over time, will make things happen. I can look back, at 71 years old, I have a lot of experiences. Some of those experiences were not so good, but the majority of them were good and brought me to the moment in time I'm at today. And I use those experiences of mine and the hundreds of people that I have read their books, and there's a sneeze coming. Excuse me. And the hundreds of books that I have read of other people's experiences. I talk to people all the time, and I'll talk about a book and say, well, how much does that book cost? It doesn't matter. What would you pay for somebody else's lifetime of experiences that could possibly save your life, save your financial life, save your family life? For $7, $17, $24.95, I think that's the best price in the world to pay to be able to read about other people's experiences. Biographies of successful people. That's where it starts. Think and Grow Rich. What was that? That was a biography of Andrew Carnegie, written by Napoleon Hill over a 25-year period of time, which was about all the experiences of not only Andrew Carnegie, but 500 other of the most successful people in the world. What were their habits? What were their thinking processes? How did they massage and exercise their thinking muscle? What would be the value to that information? I don't know. It's made a lot of people successful, financially and otherwise. It has made a difference in my life in being a businessman at the moment I'm at, a successful businessman. Because I didn't go to college. I didn't learn today in some college somewhere. I'm not discrediting colleges, but I don't know a lot of people that went to college and what they learned at college became their occupation, profession, or what they did in life to become successful. All that college is an exercise platform. It's where you learn to exercise. You're supposed to learn how to exercise your thinking muscle. But I don't believe a lot of that exists because I meet a lot of people that have gone to college. They have finance degrees and business degrees, but boy, they sure didn't learn how to think much. That's just my experience, folks. I got a dozen MBAs that are clients that I coach. I don't have a college degree, but I coach MBAs, and they all say the same thing to me. Tom, why didn't they teach me this stuff in college? I think they have another agenda. I think colleges have become more a commercial profit-making business. They sell education for a profit. And they get you to buy it and sign on the line, and you end up with $20, $30, $40, $50, $100, $150,000 of debt at the end of college. And you're struggling because you can't make enough money to pay the debt. I believe the college is responsible for that. If they want to sell education, they got to offer certainty and a guarantee that you're going to make enough money to pay them back. Just my thoughts. Don't know. And now the government's talking about making community college free. No way. You know why? Because when it's free, you won't appreciate it. you won't respect it, and you won't do the work required. You'll do less work because it doesn't matter. It's free. Anyway, we're going to get out of here today. Get my book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project. Go to cfo-project.com. Put in your name and email address. You can get the book for free. Or you can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble and buy it there. Or you can go to cfo-project.com and learn how to invest in yourself. There are 4 books there, plus a 1-hour video for $47. And $20 additional will buy the book there, and I'll send you an autographed copy. God bless. It's going to be a fun, interesting, and exciting week this week as we look at goals, financial goals, personal goals, and how to set goals, how to set an action plan. You better come back tomorrow and hear what I got to say. God bless.